Guys, audible now? I've audible, guys. Quickly let me know, please. Guys, can you hear me now? Okay, cool. Okay, fair enough. Finally. Okay. Can I have your questions quickly as far as the SOP is concerned? Then I can give you my take on it, and that's how we will proceed for the session today. So I am Lucknow is asking for SOP if I'm not wrong. There are a couple of questions. I think one of the person he has sent in to me. But again, I would appreciate if somebody can just put it down on the chat, and then I can kind of take question by question. That's how we'll go ahead. What are the questions we have for I am Lucknow? Okay, why MBA and your career goal? Okay, that's a pretty normal question. Shayon, buddy, would you mind putting that list of questions on the chat for my quick reference, so I can kind of understand. Guys, I'm waiting for a couple of more people to join in. Why you wish to pursue the education in management, and what is your career plans? Acha, anybody has written the SOP on their own? Like anybody has done with the SOP? I'm sure like the other colleges are not asking for SOP. So anybody who's done with it, like any answer that you guys came up with? Yeah, can you just copy paste your answers out here, or just explain, because we have got like around about 18 people till now. I'm waiting for a couple of more people. Okay. Okay, I'll just copy and paste this out here. Okay, why do you consider yourself a suitable candidate for PGP? What are your motivations, triggers? Okay, I wanted to pursue this program. Okay, fairly decent questions. These are not really toad-food questions they're asking. Okay. Any word limit access given by the college? Any word limit, guys? No word limit. Okay. Did you guys try your hands on writing SOP answers like earlier, or you like waiting for it? I mean, you want me to tell you and then you'll be writing? Is it the case? Okay. 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 All right. Okay. Let me begin then. So most of the time when you guys are trying for your SOP, right? Now your SOP is going to play a vital role as far as your selection is concerned, as you all know that. So a lot of time I see people writing SOP wherein they try to write a lot about themselves, they try to include everything that has happened to them in their entire college life or their childhood, everything that they want to include. But that's not how it should work. Now, couple of things that you want to keep in your mind before you write SOP for like any of the college, but I mean, like it can be anything. It can be SIBM, it can be IIM, it can be Harvard, or it can be ISB for that matter. Couple of things I will be discussing with you guys right now, which if you take care of, I think you should be sorted. Now, how do you start your SOP? What kind of a start you've made? Like, my name is like say Shayon, or like my name is this. I belong to like say Jammu, or like belong to Maharashtra. Is that the way you guys have started with it? Okay. Okay. So Arush, how did you Arush Shubham, if you can answer me, how did you guys start with your SOP? Okay. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, not a problem. All right. I am still waiting for a couple of more to join in so that everybody gets an idea with your goal. Aspirations of MBA. Okay, aspirations for MBA. Okay, fair enough. Okay, I will not advise you to start with your SOP with these things wherein you talk about your aspirations, where you talk about these things. I would certainly not advise you to do that. Um, Again, not with the goal also. Shouldn't be starting your SOP with the goal. Shouldn't be starting your SOP with the aspirations. Profile, no, not at all. Not at all. Should not do that. Okay. What else? Is it the only case that I am L and K are asking for the SOP and other colleges are not asking? Your strength. Tushar with your name. Okay. Fair enough. Guys, the quicker you write, respond to me. I think that's going to help me to kind of get onto the point immediately, and then we can have a fruitful discussion eventually. Okay. Mindor is asking too. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Thank you, Sudeep. Okay. Thank you, man. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a little bit surprise. Now, as far as the SOP is concerned, though it's like something can be common across. Now there are a lot of mentors, a lot of people will be telling you that SOP the SOP hota hai. You can write it the way you want to write it. Couple of things you need to take care of. But trust me, when it comes to me as a mentor or as a tutor, I would advise you to write your SOP in a different manner altogether when it comes to IIMs. Even in there, we can do a bifurcation of writing an SOP for IIM ABC. That's a different league altogether. Writing your SOP for KIL and then writing your SOP for new IIMs and the baby IIMs. And your SOP should be a little bit different as far as your SIBM Pune, SMHRD colleges are concerned. So those who have got a call from KIL and all these other colleges like ABCs and all that, you guys will be writing your SOP a little bit different manner. And what those different things, I will be telling you this today itself. Initial describing. So Arush has written initial describing how my childhood influenced me to take up interest in IT. Then how I developed more interest in it, how my past influenced my present choice of IT. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. That's a sweet part of your recipe anyway. Um, Guys, anybody else want to answer? I can give you a minute time and then we can move ahead if you are keen on it. We're already 9 minutes down here. Anybody want to give me the answer? Like last one, then I can kind of start with my take on it. Kunal, I'm going to have a next session on SIBM and all that. Please do not spam it, buddy. Okay, role model. Okay, guys. So I'll quickly start with your SOP. Now, people who've got SOP for Indore, for the Lucknow and all that stuff. Okay. Now, common things as far as your SOP is concerned. Your SOP, first of all, should never start with your name, should never start with your extracurricular, should never start with your strength, should never start with your weaknesses, should never start with your profile, your job, so on and so forth. Now, these are pretty much outdated kind of things wherein people you've been writing this kind of SOPs, but I think it's kind of now a bit of orthodox methodology of writing SOP. At when I look at the IIM profs, I think they've been reading these SOPs from like more than a decade's time, and it gets kind of monotonous to read the same type of SOPs again and again, because if you know there are a lot of proformas, there are a lot of patterns of SOPs are floating around as far as the internet is concerned. So I don't see any kind of a value addition writing the same kind of SOP, right? If I look at you guys out here on this chat itself, there are a lot of people, they've been telling the same stuff that I started with my name, I started with my profile, I started with so and so forth, right? Now, what I need to understand, the first thing that I need to understand, that the SOP that we write, we do not write it for ourselves. We write the SOP for the recipient. Now, who's going to be the recipient? The recipient is going to be the IIM folks, right? Or the professors out there, or maybe the alum, like maybe that you will see the alum out there in the interview process for the PI anyway. So the first thing that we need to understand is that we are not writing SOP for ourselves. We're writing SOP for somebody else, right? Who wants to know about us? Now, when you put yourself in somebody else's shoe, then you can have good points as far as your SOP is concerned. But the moment you start writing for yourself, you kind of get biased towards it, and you put in the points whichever you like to put it, right? So first thing, rather, something that you should not be doing, you should not be writing your SOP for yourself. If not, then what you should be writing in your SOP. The most important point, your SOP, though people say that, you have to include your academics, you have to include your past academic record, your extracurricular, so on and so forth. I have a little bit different attitude towards it. If I were to write an SOP, rather, what's the purpose of SOP? So everybody knows that you've got good acads. Everybody knows that you've got a good profile. Now, the point that kind of gets in the end is that what you are as a person, what are your qualities, what substance you have, right? Which is again, professional comes into picture, academic comes into picture, your personal things comes into picture. So it's a combination of IQ and EQ both. Now, whenever you write these kind of SOPs, the first thing that you need to keep in your mind is that your SOP must have a killer opening. Trust me, your SOP got to have a killer opening. If you tell me that, my name is XYZ, I came from a small town, I came from this district and all that stuff, not pretty impressive. But if you write an opening which is killer, maybe I'm a little bit sleepy, because I've been reading a lot of SOPs day in, day out, but a killer kind of a note or a beginning of SOP can actually make me more interested about you, and I'll keep on reading your SOP till the end. Now, how do you do it? You can start with a quote, right? Or you can start with any kind of a shloka for that matter, which defines your personality, which gives them an idea about you as a person, right? So there are a lot of people, they believe in hard work. There are a lot of people who say that, I never got the things in my life, in the easy format, right? Literally I had to slog for it. So I'm kind of a guy who believes a lot in the hard work, rather than, believing that, miracle will happen and something you'll get, something like that. So anyway, you are not supposed to write something like that, right? So you have to have a killer opening. Now that's something you need to work on. You need to give yourself a bit of time. It can be anything. I'll give my example, right? The tagline of my company says passion to perform. Might as well start very well with passion to perform. I think passion to perform is something which really attains me. It really drives me. It is something that I connected to a lot. So I'm giving you my interview experiences anyway. You can do that way, right? That's number one. Number two, you can quote, anybody. Maybe you can quote your role model, or maybe you can quote anybody that right? Maybe a lesson that you've got from your parents, or maybe a lesson that you've got from your faculties and all that. But it has to have a killer opening. You need to write something different, right? You might just want to start with a shloka which says, I'll give an example. I mean, If you want to write in, you can write in. There's a sloka in Gita which says Karmanya Vadikaraste Ma Phalishu Kadachana, right? Now, this quote means what? It means that you believe a lot in your hard work and not, you don't really care about the results. So you are somebody who will be putting in a lot of efforts for like, whatever you want to do. So you have to have a killer opening for that. So now it's up to you. You need to kind of, sit down, understand these things, put it like that, something like that. That's the first thing that you can try out as far as the opening is concerned. Second thing that you need to keep in your mind is that your SOP should give a clear-cut picture of your entire life. It might start from your school level, can go till your college level, or can extend it till your work ex also. But when I read your SOP, it should not be monotonous. Like, my name is this. I've done my schooling from, say, like Xavier's, and then I gone to like SRCC or IIT. I don't want that kind of thing. So the second thing that you need to keep in your mind is that whenever you write your SOP, it should describe your entire journey, whatever you've done in your college, at your job, at your schooling. It should be a script and should not be a monotonous thing. So you need to kind of come up and sort it out. This is the way. One second. As I said, my SOP started with the same point, right? I started with the sloka because I wanted to give my panel, I wanted to have a little bit different flavor as far as my SOP is concerned. And that is something I'll come back to you guys later on, what I included in my SOP. I would love to write, and this is what I actually wrote, to be very honest. So SOP should contain something like that sort. So I started with the sloka, by the way. And then I went on to explain that, why do I really mean to say that, and why I mean, this, why it means a lot to me, and why I have kind of, made a mention of this sloka and all the stuff. So I started in the same format, buddy. Second thing that you need to understand, to describe your entire journey. These are two major points. Now, whenever you write anything, future goals, yes, you can write your future goals, but you need to give yourself a little bit time to write your future goals, because I have just started with the beginning of SOP. I have not got, so there are 3 levels. You start the SOP, there is a main body of the SOP, and at the end you kind of conclude that. So there will be 3 levels of SOP altogether. So we'll come back to that later on. I'm only talking about the beginning as of now. So yeah, you can begin with a quote, you can begin with a sloka, you can begin with your learning or any lesson that you've got from your elders and so on and so forth, right? That's going to be the first thing. Now, eventually, when you get a little bit in detail as far as your SOP is concerned, it must talk about your entire journey and should not be monotonous. That's the second point altogether. Now, say whenever you quote anything, right? If you're quoting a sloka, right, you have to give justification. So you have to narrate, or you have to quote maybe kind of an incident in your life. That's started. So you can start from your childhood, that I come from a small town, and it wasn't really possible for me to kind of aim for IIMs, and so on and so forth. Education wasn't that easy for me, but still I went on to work hard and so on and so forth, right? So I have to narrate it in that way, so that people can stick around to your recipe, and they would love to read your recipe quite a bit, little bit for more time. Anyway, any questions so far on these 2 points? Guys, any questions so far? Anything that you agree, anything you disagree, please tell me. Okay. Yes, I would prefer that. Yes. I would put it as a positive. Yes. How many paragraphs should we write? Should be 4 to 5 paragraphs, but you got to keep in mind the structure of your recipe also. You cannot go on and on and on. Okay, sir, can I start my SOP by explaining the meaning of my name? No, don't do that. It's a great strategy as far as your PI is concerned, but should never start with your name. When it comes to your SOP, I would not personally advise you to do so. Don't do that, because you are planning, like, guys, you are writing this for like top 10 B school in the country. You don't really want to do that. Had it been any chota mota college, wahan pe chal jata hai, but not for the IIMs. Can we have a study code in different language? Don't do that, because your SOP got to be really professional. It should have that business touch to it. I would not advise to have in a different language altogether, or maybe in a vernacular language. I would not prefer that. I would never advise that, guys. So don't do that. Yeah, the second point that I said that, whenever you want to write SOP, make sure that you kind of, give them your entire life car journey. It should be a script, as if, somebody's reading a movie script, right? So that's how your SOP should look like. So that was my second point. My first point was starting, having a killer starting, wherein you talk about, lesson of your life and so on and so forth. Anyway, okay, guys, are we clear here? Now, the second point that I want to let you guys know is that your SOP is going to be a formation of couple of questions. Number one, tell me something about yourself. Number two, why do you want to do an MBA program? Number three, why do you want to join particular institute like I am Lucknow, I am Kozhikode, I am Indore? Number four, and the last one is that where do you see yourself 5 or 6 or 10 years down the line? So when you take these 4 or 5 questions together, the combination of these 4 to 5 questions will form your SOP, right? So what you can do is you can give one single paragraph for each point that I've just told you. So tell me about yourself. Then comes your why do you want to do an MBA? Then the institution and your long-term program, rather your long-term dreams, whatever. And again, one point that you might want to include, you can actually include that why shall we take you on board, or why shall we take you in this program? I think that is something you might want to explain to them. So there are 5 to 6 points out here. You can give, say, one paragraph for each thing, and then kind of make it a story and put it all together on the paper. Are we cool? Guys, are you getting what I'm saying, or confusion ho raha hai? Or you want a clarity on a couple of points? No, you should never write anything about faculties. Guys, I'll tell you, a lot of people will tell you that you should look at the faculties and you should talk about the faculties. Guys, trust me, these are all old games. People are telling you this, trust me, they have done their MBA 10 years back, or maybe 20 years back. This does not work now. Absolutely doesn't work. Okay, let's take an example. You want to learn XYZ from, you want to learn finance from XYZ person, right? It's not necessary that the guy you are facing in the interview is the same guy. If you get the same guy, yeah, the ice is broken. But what if I'm a faculty, I'm pretty good at finance. I'm just quoting an example, a hypothetical example. I'm a faculty who's good at finance. And you are naming somebody else that, I want to learn, finance from this XYZ faculty. Why do you want to get into that kind of thing, right? So don't focus more on the faculties, please. Okay, we want clarity on achievements. If you don't have achievements during graduation, what to do? Okay, now achievement. What do you mean by achievement? Achievement doesn't mean that you have to have sports achievement. You have to have, some internship, or you have to have some gold medal and all that. So it's not an achievement. Like, achievement doesn't mean, it means anyway, if you're a gold medalist, if you've got a silver medal, if you've been really good in the sports, all that stuff, yeah, it does mean that achievement. But achievement का मतलब इतना ही नहीं होता कि आपको medal मिलना चाहिए, आपको किसी ने, कोई trophy देनी चाहिए. It's not constant to that. Achievement can be anything. Maybe you were laconic, right? When you started with your graduation, you were laconic. Then you started networking with people, and that's how you became a little bit of ambivert kind of a guy. So you yourself developed, right? So any development that has happened with you, maybe in the professional way, maybe in the academic way, is an achievement. You started taking participation, so you got a stage fear, right? But because of this presentation and all that, you are now good at stage performance, or maybe you have that confidence to face the crowd. You have that confidence to kind of talk to people. That's that is an achievement again, right? So achievement does not mean that you have any trophy and all that. Anything can be achievement, which was your weakness earlier, and now rather then got converted into your strong point. That can be achievement. So don't say that having a medal or trophy only is the achievement. No, it's not like that, guys. How to write in monotonous style, how not to write in monotonous style, describing my journey, and also how. That's what I'm explaining, Sudeep. That's what I'm explaining. If you try to follow these points, I think you should not be writing in monotonous. You'll be writing a nice SOP anyway. Long-term goal. Niyanta, can we please park this question? I am still at the beginning of the SOP. Should we write about the faculties already? Said no, don't have achievement. Okay, that's taken. Can we write about the role model? Acha. Now, a lot of people would try and write about their role model. Let's take an example of IIM Ahmedabad. A lot of people do really love, and they're like big fan of Raghuram Rajan, right? So a lot of people do respect sir, right? But the point is that this might backfire. That if you're telling that Mr. Rajan, or Sir Raghuram Rajan is my role model, then guys get ready to have a lot of question on his autobiography. Secondly, if I'm at the panel, I might ask you, okay, tell me a couple of pointers or a couple of qualities of Mr. Raghuram Rajan, and yours, like which has synergy. So I would not put myself into that embarrassing situation wherein I've been asked what all qualities he has and you've got the same qualities. Should never do that. Should never do that. That brings me to a point that whenever you write your SOP, right, make it a point that you don't make a mention a lot about your role model. I want to be like somebody. I want to be like XYZ. Don't do that. Just say that I just want to. Don't compare or don't try to be somebody. Just try to be yourself. You tell them that this is what I would love to be in future. I think that is something cool. Even if you look at Mr. Raghuram Rajan's autobiography, and if you read about him, I think he was the guy who said in the PI that what do you want to be in the future? He said that he want to be the governor of RBI. He never quoted that he want to be would love to be a governor like XYZ or ex-governor of RBI. No, he never said that. He just talked about the designation anyway. Guys, I said a number of words, keep it like 500 to 600 words, nothing more than that. How do you contribute to the program? Okay, I'll come to that. Okay, are we okay with the opening of the SOP? Do we understand that how do you open the SOP? Because that one paragraph is going to make or break as far as your things are concerned, because that first paragraph would matter a lot. पहले paragraph के बाद ही decide होगा कि बंदा आपकी SOP till the end whether he's going to read or he's going to kind of glance through or kind of skim through. So are we clear on these points? Okay, fair enough. Okay. So, okay, tell me something about yourself. Great. So we are done with that. Now, Sumit Sonekar buddy, I am taking another session for Symbiosis. Please don't spam the group. This is only for the IIM folks. You can join my session at 10:15. Please, not now, buddy. You are my student. I think I can speak to you one-to-one. Yeah, not a problem. Why MBA? I'm coming to that point. Okay. Now let's take one by one. All right, great. So the opening is done. So later on, when we move ahead, right, they are interested to understand now the way you started your life. What are your learnings throughout your journey? So what you've learned about XYZ factor. You learned something on a philosophical way. Things don't come in an easy way. You have to slog for it. Blah blah blah. You can't take things granted. Something like that. So thoda bahut aapko philosophical bolna padega, and you got to have a personal touch to your SOP. You cannot be professional all the time. As far as SOP is concerned, you got to have a personal touch. Anyway, so the next point that we want to take is that why MBA? Why do you want to do an MBA? Would you mind, guys, telling me a couple of points from your side that what you would love to answer or what you are intent to answer as far as the question of why MBA is concerned? Can I have those answers, please? And then I can kind of tell you my answer in a nutshell. So they don't say that, but my strengths match the requirements for MBA, interest in operations management. Okay. Okay. Now the question here is, somebody who said interest in operations management, why did you, how that interest, got developed eventually? Now, why do you want to get into consulting, right? How we can be very sure that, what are the things in consulting that really kind of, fascinates you or, you love to be part of? Okay. Shubham says what I want to do in future and how MBA will help me in bridging the gap to reach there. Okay, I can still take this as an answer. Wants to switch from technology consultant to strategy consultant. Okay. My long-term goal is to become an entrepreneur. In order to achieve my goal, I want to Okay. Events that led to me to decide pursuing MBA. Okay. To make business more efficient. Okay. And B, because it gives wider opportunity. Okay. Okay. Synergy. Okay, you can talk about that. Okay. Now, whenever you write about my MBA, the first thing that you need to give to tell them is that how the interest for MBA got developed. So maybe you've been a person who's been quite competent enough, or maybe you want to get into management because you do feel that a couple of your abilities or maybe a couple of your strengths are in sync with the requirement of the management world. One not only needs technical knowledge but also needs managerial knowledge. Okay, always wanted to take responsibility for everything. And maybe is this all about no CM Imon? That's not quite convincing, buddy. Anyway, okay, coming back to the answer. Why MBA? I will be making different videos altogether. Today, I just want to kind of give you guys heads up and take down your questions as far as the SOP formation is concerned. So why MBA, right? You need to tell them that why this kind of inclination came into your mind. So people who are working in IT, people who are working currently, now your job is at a basic level job, right? You might be a consultant, you might be the IT software guy, or you might be a code or something like that. So first thing that you need to kind of give them why you want to join an MBA program and what is the basic reason. Now, before we move ahead and talk about a lot of jargon saying that synergy chahiye and all that stuff, let's try and understand what is your personal reason to kind of start with your process knowledge. That's okay, but I would kind of start with a personal reason that why I would want to go ahead with this. So the reason would be when you started your life, like after graduation, you got into the bottom of the company. So that's where you started working more of on a technical front, right? So no decision making, okay, no innovation, no creativity, no risky decision making, right? You are not involved into risk management, something like that. So you have to tell them something that you would love to do, but you are not being exposed to do as far as your company is concerned as of now. So that can be the main reason because of which you want to move ahead and get the MBA degree on your resume. So this is how you can start building up that answer that, why do you want to do an MBA? Now, if you tell them directly that, I want to get on a senior level or I want to be a CF and blah, 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 this might not sound correct to them. They want to have a clear cut understanding that why this guy really want to get into an MBA. What is that vacuum, or what is that that one thing that is missing in his life because of which he is kind of passionate or motivated to do an MBA. So this is what you guys need to make a mention. That's number one. Number two, then you can kind of complement the same thing with your ability that yes, I do feel that I can do pretty well as far as the management things are concerned. You can bring in that point number two, and point number third will be your designation or whichever you want to be. Right now, if you are not aiming for if you're not aiming for like top-notch college, then this is not something I would advise you to write. But if you're aiming for ABCKIL, right, you can be spot on, you can be clear cut as far as your designation is concerned. So if you're somebody or a finance guy wants to get into IIM Lucknow, currently you're a fresher, or currently say you're working with the IT company, you can be straightforward saying that yes, I want to pursue my future or I want to pursue my career in the investment banking. Okay, I want to work at the client side, I want to be in the front end of a company, because you should not shy away from saying all these things, because ABCKIL, these are the colleges predominantly built to generate the leaders in the market, or to have these kind of profiles, right? So there I will be kind of showing my aspiration that what exactly I want to be. Maybe I want to be a derivative trader. Maybe I want to get into the branding. Maybe I want to work with top-notch companies. Like, so that's how we can kind of three-folded answer. Why the inclination came into picture, what are your qualities that will help you, and number three, what position you would seek, or what category, or what vertical, or what domain you want to get into. Freshers, I'm coming to that. Workers guys can answer in this fashion. Freshers, definitely, as far as freshers are concerned, you can always tell them about your own qualities, that vibe management. So maybe say if somebody who has worked, or rather who has done say corporate finance in the graduation level, like BCom, like commerce guys. So in commerce, we have done all the a basic level of accounting, finance, and corporate finance. Now you want to grow the ladder up. Now you don't want to get into work thing, right? You want to continue with your education because of zeal to learn, passion to learn, so on and so forth. And rather than getting into work X, now don't make a mention about that I don't want to get into work and all that. Don't say that. Just understand what I'm saying. Rather than writing these things, just tell them that I would love to continue my education further and I want to understand or learn the advanced version of corporate finance, the advanced version of accounting, the advanced version of IFRS. So you can be a bit technical out here if you know that thing very well. So that's what for freshers I would say. Or maybe an exposure to the management at the early stage of life. These are the answers you can kind of put in. Managing the uncertainty, no, you cannot say that, because even after being an MBA, you'll not be in a position to manage the uncertainty. That's the reason it is uncertainty, because nobody can manage it, and that's why it is called. So don't say that. Work X in IT, then how could we justify financial roles? I'll come back to that. Okay, now civil engineer guy, I want to get into an MBA. Okay, so you did your civil engineering, right? Over a period of time, you developed the interest of getting into management. You are not somebody who want to, work on the things. I think you are somebody who would love to get the things done, right? You are somebody who wants to be in the team. So don't talk about leaders and all that stuff. Definitely, if you're an ABC, you will be future leaders. But don't try to talk about leadership programs and all that stuff as of now. Okay, leadership program. This is a good reason that you can put in your SOP that you are keen to join IIMLP program of the company. So there are companies like GE, there are companies like Goldman Sachs, there are companies like Kotak Mahindra, there are companies like Birla, right? They provide you IIMLP program, International Management and Leadership Program, wherein you are working, on the strategy part of a team. 10 years down the line, 12 years down the line, if you're from ABC, maybe 8 years down the line, you can be a top management guy. So that's what you can talk about. So you can make a note of IIMLP program, which you are keen to. That's a good answer, by the way. Fresher is BBA. Yes, you can tell them that, you want to continue your master's in the management because you've already done a bit of management at your graduation level. MBA is going to be an extension to it. You can say that. Civil engineer guy. Okay, I missed that. So civil engineer guy, you can write about, I've done the civil engineering, 4 years of my engineering. Now I want to move it. So here is the crux, guys. As far as your SOP is concerned, don't be too bold to write about civil engineer and then, getting into finance. I would rather tell you not to make a mention of this. Just say that I am into civil engineering now. Eventually, I want to pursue my management education. Go back or join back my, civil companies, maybe, L&T Infra or maybe SCC. Very nice see myself in a position of, decision making. Very nice see myself in a position of risk management. Very nice see myself in a position of helping for my client, or very nice see myself in a position of taking decisions which will help my companies to build the revenue. So I want to put myself in a position, a guy who builds up the top line for a company. So try to make these answers or try to write these answers. Now, once you get inside the college, once you get selected, you can opt for finance, you can opt for marketing, you can opt for any damn thing out there. But it's just that you don't want to get screwed by showing that, non-synergy which exists in your profile. Civil engineer getting into finance, convincing is going to be a little tough. I can give you the answer, that's not a problem. But again, as far as the convincing is concerned, it's going to be a little tough. So play safe. Tell them that I want to grow the ladder up. I see myself in the management domain. That's the reason I want to do an MBA. Computer science guy, same stuff here. I want to go back to the same industry. 4 years and I want to do in finance. Yeah, these questions I'm going to take a little bit later. But I'll give you a quick clue about IT people. So a lot of people who are working in IT. So if you look at a lot of companies like Infosys, Accenture, Wipro for that matter, right? Capgemini, all these companies, right? So the maximum IT companies these days are making their top line, rather 60% of their top line is actually coming from BFSI. Now I'll tell you a real industry problem out here. But people for those who are an engineer want to get into the IT. The problem here is that those who are pretty good. So say Infosys has a client, say JP Morgan. Now, JP Morgan is an investment bank. They want to build up a software for their traders. Now, somebody who's pretty good at coding, but has no idea, how does the derivative work? What is bond? What is share? What are the nuances of these things? What are the nitty-gritty of these financial instruments? So if you're somebody who's done the IT, and you are somebody who wants to do an MBA in finance, you can tell them that I am already done with the IT. I've got a work X. I want to get into finance because I want to go back and join IT industry, but they're BFSI sector because that's where the money's been made now. So you want to have a knowledge of both the world because you already know the technical knowledge. You also now want to have the vertical knowledge, which is the management vertical, that's finance. And I think then you are a good product. So rather than hiring 2 different people altogether, company can hire only one person who knows the technical stuff and who knows the management stuff. I think that's a good combo. It's a deadly combination. That's how we can convince them that, why I want to shift to finance, or why I want to shift to marketing. So say if you're a marketing guy, you want to get into marketing, you want to do MBA marketing, you can tell them that I want to be at the front end of a company, I want to get the clients on board. That's where I see myself. I want to join the consulting, something like that. Sir, I have done BBA in marketing and I want to do MBA in finance. So how to answer them about my finance marketing? Saurabh, I would love to take this question offline because I will have to explain a lot of stuff. So let's park this question as of now. For people who are working 4 years in IT, I think I'm done with that. Any drawbacks if they ask if you are on sabbatical leave and you answer yes? No drawback as such. If you're taking a sabbatical, you can very well tell them that. Rather, tell them why you got eligible for sabbatical. Say that I've been a good performer. I've been able to maintain good relationship with my management, and they see me as an asset. I need a little bit of improvement as far as the management knowledge is concerned. So my company said that, my management said that now it's time for you to move to the management education. We will give you sabbatical. Your job is safe with us. Do the MBA, come back to us, join us. These kind of people are most welcome in the B school because you guys are not the liabilities on the college. You have job in your hand. So do make a mention about that. Sir, I have a zeal for teaching, so I want to learn about all the managerial skills and work in the top edu business like Byju's and then start my own edu business. Pankaj, I can talk to you about this. That's okay. 2 years gap. What to do? Dying to live. Buddy, I can take this offline, right? I want to change from finance to marketing. How do I justify that? Okay, so if you want to change from finance to marketing, okay, you can do that this way. So I've done the finance. Guys, this is the last question I'm taking because I think we're diverting from the topic. This is a SOP session. We are like not even close to SOP. We are already 41 minutes down. Last question from you guys. Okay. You're a finance guy, you want to get into marketing. I'll give a quick example of Big Four or banking industry. So say you want to, you know the finance, now you want to join Big Four. Just an example, right? This cannot be the real or clear-cut answer. For that, I will be having a couple of more live sessions. So you know the finance and we want to get into a finance company. So Big Four, right? But you want to work on the marketing domain. You want to get clients on board, right? You want to get into the marketing strategy. Best of both the world. So people who know marketing, people who know finance, I think these guys can turn out to be a pretty good CEOs eventually. So you can always tell them that I've seen my teammates like CFA level 3, MBA finance. Now they are kind of getting into marketing, so that's still okay. You can tell them that I want to explore a couple of more streams of the company. So finance, now you know how to manage the money, you know how to manage funds, you know how to get the funds, but marketing will tell you to kind of how to make more money. So you've been taken care of the back end, which is like managing the money. Now marketing will tell you how to make more money. So something like that, you can do that. But anyways, I'll be taking this session later on. Now guys, coming back to the SOP, please. So the first point is introduce yourself. Why MBA? I have just made a clear-cut idea to you guys. Why do you want to join an MBA? 3 points I've told you. So keep those in your mind. The third thing will come here is your strong point and your weak point. Weak point, please don't make a mention about it. Strong point you can talk about. Now there are 2 things that you can talk about. Number 1 is your academic achievement, all the golden medals that you have, all the achievements that you have, kind of certifications that you have done, which will kind of complement your MBA career. Okay. So now is the time to boast. Not exactly boast, you got to stay humble. Now in the second paragraph, you can talk about your academic achievement. You can talk about your academic achievement in the subject and so on and so forth. Now, whenever you talk about your academic achievements, make sure that you are not giving them point to point. You create a nice story. So you can tell them that, so for example, when I was in Symbiosis, I was doing my commerce. I stood like rank 1 in the university by, participating in a lot of competitions and all that stuff. So make a story and try to, frame it in that way. So second point will take care of all your achievements. Later on, you can talk about your achievements, maybe your CFA certification, maybe your FRM certification, something that sort. So that is where you can tell them about, why do you want to go ahead for the MBA now? So that will be your second paragraph. Number 3, why this institute or why this particular institute that you want? Now, this can go a little longer as far as why this institution is required. I will not tell you guys that you talk about faculties, you talk about so and so forth. I will kind of tell you to talk about your alumni, talk about the alumni, talk about the industry, the way industry respect this particular college. You can talk about the roles that you're looking for, because when you talk about IIMs, there are specific roles which are only given to the IIM folks, that are not given to anybody else. So you can talk about these things. So paragraph 1, introduce yourself, talk about your life. Paragraph 2, talk about your achievements, talk about your goals and all that, all the medals and all that. Third, you can talk about your achievements. Brother, why do you want to get into this particular college? Last but not the least, where do you want to see yourself 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line? I think here it's a good idea to make a mention about what exactly you want to do. Like somebody said that, they want to get into the educational industry. You can say that, 3 years down the line, I see myself getting into a consulting role, right? Maybe see 7, 8 years down the line, I see myself heading that consulting domain, right? So I am somebody who sees myself at the top level. And when you apply for ABC KIL, it is absolutely fine to tell them that you want to be a CEO or CFO at the end of the day, because that's what you guys will be doing 10 years down the line. So this is a realistic example. So don't shy away telling them that, you want to be a CEO or CFO. You can tell them aram se. Tadnai, you can get it evaluated. What's your deadline to submit the SOP? Because my schedule is pretty swamped. I will not be able to look at it one by one. But I think if you have something, you can just put it on WhatsApp and I'll be able to help you guys. Guys, any question you have as far as your SOP is concerned? Okay, couple of points that I'll tell you quickly. Tell about yourself. Tell me about yourself. That's number 1. Why do you want this institution? That's number 2. Your long-term goal. 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. Why this particular college you can talk about, and then you can talk about your academic achievements. I think if you include these points, it should be more than enough for your SOP. Nothing more needs to be written out here. Stay humble. Don't talk a lot about yourself. Don't boast. That's it. And be precise. And just take care of your spelling mistakes. Just take care of your word formation, parallelism, grammatical mistakes. I think that's it. Madhusmita, word limit I said 400 to max 600 words. Try to consolidate 500, 600 words. I think more than that, please. How do I contribute? That's a good question. How do I contribute? Okay, now it's a great question, by the way, but it's a little trick. There are a lot of people, they say that how you would be able to contribute. Now that's where you need to talk about your domain. So say you are somebody who is a gold medalist in finance, from SRCC, or you are somebody who has done economic honors. You can always tell them that how you will be contributing towards the college. You would love to participate. You would love to take place. You would love to take the brand of this college to the places. You see yourself, actively participating into the placement committee. Utilize your network, right? You see yourself getting into the finance committee or marketing committee, something like that sort. So yeah, you would love to be into the PR team of a college, wherein you will doing the branding and brand building for a college. That's what you can do that. Simple. I think nothing more than this is required to be written. So just, and be very humble when you write about contribution and all that. So don't write bada cheeze. One line is enough. Samit Saxena, sorry buddy, won't be able to tell you about that. Not a session on that. Guys, any other thing that I can help you with? Are we clear out here? We are 48 minutes down. Are we clear enough? I can give you 5 more minutes. Please do let me know your questions. I know it's not possible to address everybody's question out here. I will be making separate video on the SOP front. You can refer that. This session is only FAQ, question and answer, giving you guys bullet points to go ahead with your SOP. Please let me know if I can help you in any which ways. Anything I can answer out here. One question: why do you consider yourself a suitable candidate? Now that's where all your strength will come into picture. You consider yourself a better person to join this program because you have a designed knowledge, right? Maybe an engineer and maybe whatever, maybe BBA, maybe BCom honors or something like that, right? Yeah, do that. My number, guys, I'll put the link in this video. That's my WhatsApp group, and from there you can get the number. I just put in here. Paper publication, please do that. Please do that. Please do that. Yes, paper publication, representation of college, anything, the smallest of the small thing that I've done in your life, do make a mention about it. No, whenever you have to conclude, don't quote it. No quote is required whenever you conclude. Whenever you conclude, I would urge you guys that conclusion may always always talk about your future goals. So, this is how your SOP will look like. So if I'm reading somebody's SOP, say if I'm reading Sandeep ka SOP, right? I'll understand, what this guy is all about. How he started his career, maybe from his schooling, how he overcame all his, demerits in his life, how he kind of, went on to flourish in his life, academically, professionally, work-wise, personally, so on and so forth, right? Now, what he wants to do in his future, what he's been able to achieve till today, how he flourished in his academics, and why he wants to join this program, and how this program is going to help him to kind of build up on his personal and professional abilities and the capabilities, and what this guy at the end of the day wants to do in the future. So your future goals should include in the conclusion, right? Simple. So what you would love to do in future, so it's like I started from the past and got end on the future point. So that's how your SOP flow should be. Okay, keep simple language. Lot of time people try to write so many tough words, with no GMAT words, lot of high funda words. Guys, don't do that. Keep it pretty simple. Keep it pretty simple, because what happens whenever you write those high funda dictionary words like Norman Lewis and Oxford and all that, you want to write something and the meaning is different, right? So there is a huge gap between the dictionary meaning and the English usage of that word. Now you guys are awesome, yaar. Like मतलब आपने cat फोड़ा है, EU का मतलब क्या होता है? Keep it simple, keep it nice. भारी भरकम words use करना छोड़ दो. प्यार से लिखो अपना SOP, write couple of good words. That's it. Don't write high funda words. Recent paper, any course such as financial modeling. Financial modeling, if you have done, yes, you can definitely talk about it. You can, if you want to join in me for a financial modeling, you can join me for financial modeling. That's okay. I will be anyway training people on the financial modeling front in the month of March. So yeah, if you have already done it, do make a mention about it. But just don't say that, I've done the financial modeling. Tell them that what made you to do that. Why you got at the first place, why that interest came at the first place, that because of which you went for the financial modeling. So give a good reason. So guys, anything else I can help you with? Or can we kind of sum up the entire session? Please let me know. Any project is fine. BTech project, commerce project, IT project, make a mention about the project. That's not a problem. But rather than making a mention about the projects, try to tell them that what you achieved from that project altogether. Yes, you can make it. Yes. You can put in headings. You can do that. That's not a problem. Should we talk about internship and how to start that? You can talk about internship, but I'll tell you what people do. Where people go wrong. They talk a lot about internship. That I was interned with Goldman Sachs, and I was interned with P&G and PepsiCo. That's okay. That shows your quality. Rather, that shows your talent. But if I'm a panel, I would love to understand what you learned from PepsiCo. What you learned from that internship. What's the value addition of that internship? I think if you can make that point, I think that's going to be really good. So guys, do make a mention about that. Okay, so guys, to sum it up today, anyway, I have to rush for the another session anyway. So guys, quickly, in a nutshell, SOP number 1, tell me about yourself. Start with the killer, opening. Talk about a quote. Make a mention of somebody else's quote, maybe Albert Einstein or maybe whatever guy that Whenever you tell them something in your SOP, try to substantiate by your personal experience. Try to tell them how did you overcome your limits, how did you overcome your weaknesses, your demerits. That's number 2. Should include why do you need this institute. Should include your long-term goals. Should not boast about yourself. It should not be exaggeration of your achievements. So yeah, tell me about yourself, talking about your life story, why this B school, where do you see yourself 5 years down the line, your couple of strength points, how you'll be able to contribute towards the college. 5-6 points ka club karke, write down your SOP with decent words, no grammatical mistakes, something like that. I think you're sorted. And guys, trust me, still this is not the correct thing. I have not given you all the aspect of SOP. This is not the actual SOP session that I do with my guys. There is a lot as far as the SOP is concerned, but I know you have submission in 2 days. So guys, इतना भी कर लोगे तो भी काफी हो जाएगा. I'll try my level best. If I get time, I will be making one video about SOP, because live session में वही problem होती है यार. Lot of people keep on asking questions and I have to kind of entertain their questions. तो वो flow थोड़ा सा cut हो जाता है. But I'll be making a different video altogether for SOP. So do kind of subscribe to my channel and stay tuned to it. There is a lot as far as SOP is concerned, which I will be talking in that session anyway. Pankaj Sinha, thank you so much for the appreciation, buddy. Thanks a lot. Anybody else? Okay, Bhavin, that's the last question. Should MBA be done for money only? No. Why interesting and challenging life will be after MBA and top base school? Please elaborate. Branch. Guys, branch वगैरह का जो फंडा है ना, IIM अहमदाबाद, बैंगलोर, कैलकाटा के जो प्रोफाइल्स होती है, आई बैंकिंग की हो गई, वैल्यूएशन की होगी, कॉर्पोरेट फाइनेंस की हो गई, I am all yours. You want to have a session on it? I can really take a session on it. That's not a problem. We can go into the nitty gritty. Branding में रोल क्या होता है, IB में रोल क्या होता है, HR का रोल्स क्या होता है. I can spend hours and hours with you if you are really interested, but not now. Because अगर मैं आपके डेट्स देखूं, अगर आपके इंटरव्यू के डेट्स देखूं, यार वो बहुत दूर है. फेब्रुवरी में भी नहीं है, फेब के एंड में है, मार्च में है, तो हम उसको थोड़ा साइड में रखते हैं. बट हाँ, anybody from IIM Ahmedabad, I can tell you the roles that the companies are going to give on the campus. We can get into that nitty gritty, guys. I can do that for you, but not now, guys. Okay. So, guys, thank you so much for listening to me for this 56 minutes. I would love to have these more sessions with you and try my level best to share whatever knowledge I have with you guys. And I would love to see you in one of the top B school in the country. So, guys, thank you so much. On this note, this session is over. I'll see you very soon. Thank you so much.